I've coached military members, professionals, and even parents with seven-figure incomes. But one truth keeps showing up. In this video, I'll show you why wealthy families often raise teens who still fail financially and how you can change that story for your kids. We'll cover the three core reasons teens from wealthy families struggle and the exact shifts that you can start making today. Imagine your child at 25, financially independent, confident, and not living off of your money, but thriving with their own money. The alternative, they inherit this great lifestyle, but none of the good habits. And they watch it all slip away like many athletes, entertainers, and second generation millionaires we've seen before. So, why do our teens struggle despite the wealth? I have three reasons. Reason number one is called the lifestyle cushion effect. Basically, because of their upbringing, the way they've gone through life, they've never felt the pain of running out of money. And never feeling this pain results in them never developing discipline with money because there's never been any result or any counterbalance, anything negative happen to them from spending or overspending because of the influx that maybe you, their parent, have brought in. Reason number two is outsourced lessons. Many parents, regardless of what they've been through, how much they've made, how educated they are uh, in business, in finance, they believe that schools, if they send them to the best schools, the best colleges, and just over time, that their child will develop into a financially literate being. That doesn't happen. We've seen it too many times. 70% of wealthy families lose their wealth by the second generation, and 90% of them lose their wealth by the third. It's not by accident. Uh, on the contrary, it's because of the lack of intention. And then number three is an identity conflict. Basically, since they've grown up with access to wealth, but they've never had the ownership, right, of the wealth, it leads to entitlement. So they just feel deserving without having to deal with the drawbacks. Maybe they're used to the company making $100,000 a month, and cool, feels nice, 100,000 a month, but they don't have ownership of it. They don't know what that truly means. That if the company doesn't make $100,000 a month, many of the staff won't be able to eat, right? Or it could bring the company onto collapse or bankruptcy. So it's just things like that that they're just not keen to because of the way they were brought up. So this lack of financial literacy has shown itself over years in many different forms. One example that comes to mind is pro athlete Antoine Walker. He was a three-time NBA All Star who earned over $108 million during his basketball career. But after just 2 years from separating from the game of basketball, he had to file for bankruptcy. According to Sports Illustrated, 78% of NFL players and 60% of NBA players face financial distress or bankruptcy within 5 years of retirement. Walker's downfall wasn't due to lack of income, it was due to bad habits. He overspent, supported dozens of his friends and family, and invested in shady real estate deals and had no financial plan. His story perfectly illustrates the point. It's not how much money you make, it's how you manage it. And without financial literacy, even millions can vanish. So, you're a parent, you love your kid, you want the best for them, and you would love for them to avoid these pitfalls in life and avoid the struggles. So, three things you can do right now to help curb these bad habits are: one is delayed gratification training. So, delayed gratification is choosing to wait an extended amount of time to get something that you really want, as opposed to taking the quickest route possible, which normally leads to debt or using up money that could have been used to grow your money. A way that you can train your child on it, there's a few, but let's say one is setting up an automatic savings rule. So basically, out of all the money they make, set up some sort of allotment or some sort of automatic payment that automatically takes out 20 or 30% of that money and throws it into a savings account or throws it into an investment account. That's really helpful. And other things like, oh, you want this item, well, you have to wait, this amount of months because you only make this much money a month, and then you can have that item. And 9 times out of 10 with kids, they normally don't even want the item by the time it gets to that point. But now they have a savings that they can maybe use on something else. So, number two, real world consequences. So, you want to give them the opportunity to feel lost, to feel what it's like to run out of money and not be able to receive something that they really want. A way to do this, maybe for a kid, maybe they're going back to school and they need new clothes, they want the nice shoes, whatever else they're allowed to have at their school. Instead of just getting them all their stuff or whatever you feel like getting, maybe you allocate, all right, here's $500, here's $1,000. This is for, these next few months or for the school year. Get whatever you feel like you need, and you allow them to decide what they're going to buy, whatever shirts, whatever pants, whatever shoes, and that's it. Don't go buy them anything after that. Don't give them more money. Allow them to make their decisions and then feel the impact of whatever those decisions are. Real world consequences. And then number three is ownership mindset. This is really big because most teenagers are entitled and they don't take ownership of anything. And they're very much used to everything being given to them and life being easy. So have them fund some of the stuff they want. If they're on the football team and they have to purchase new gear every year or something, like, okay, I'm going to pay this half. You figure out how to pay the other half. Or maybe they want a first car, or maybe they want to open an investment account. A really good thing to do with the investment account is, hey, I want you to start putting money into this and get used to that in life. So I'll match, every dollar you put in. You throw $300 in there, I'll bump it up to 600. You put 1,000, well, now it's 2,000. And doing these things are very enticing, to kids. It's like, ooh, I'd love to have double that amount. But it also builds up great skills for the future whenever they, maybe work somewhere and that company does matching on a 401k or what have you. So those are some ideas. Delayed gratification training, make sure they feel real world consequences of their spending, and then ownership. Do some things to where they have to take ownership of their accounts or of them wanting to play football every year or them wanting their first car. And you just guide or bump up or double whatever they do um, to inspire them to keep doing it. Ultimately, when it comes to raising them, it's not really about how much money you give them, it's about how much ownership they take over it. I've spent over a decade helping families build wealth, and I've seen both sides, kids who thrive and kids who collapse financially. Don't let wealth be the reason your teen fails. If you want the blueprint to raise a financially independent young adult, join me at Mammoth Money Academy. The link's in the description.